July 2020 marked a new beginning for Kenya's road network as work began on the Nairobi Expressway. The road's design is not only meant to complement the country's infrastructural connectivity and cut down traffic, but also put Kenya on a bigger infrastructural development footing. Barely a year later, the project is 18% completed with a timeline of December for the finish line. To achieve this, over 3,000 workers have been contracted working 24-hour shifts 7 days a week. The 27.1-kilometer stretch from Lolongo to James Gishuru will cost 65 billion Kenya shillings. The expressway will have a minimum of 4 lanes and a maximum of 6. While the expressway is a mega infrastructural project that could have increased Kenya's already strained debt balance sheet, Transport Cabinet Secretary Macharia says through public-private partnership, it will be pulled off debt-free.
I can tell you when they are doing the feasibility study, they did a census of how many vehicles are coming from Jomo Kenyatta Airport. One day, they counted about 40,000 vehicles in one day. That's why you find jams on this side, jams on this side. So they have done their mathematics. The risk, and this is very important, the risk is on the investor. If, say, eventually nobody uses this road, basically Kenya government has no obligation. And that's why I'm saying we appreciate what the investor has done by having conviction and faith in our economy. They have put this money without no guarantees, without any guarantees about payment of the toll. If nobody uses the road, it is their risk. But it shows you that indeed they have done their homework and it's actually a viable project.
Upon completion, in order to use the toll road, Kenyans will have to pay a rate that will be charged in US dollars and thereafter converted into Kenya shillings for transactions. The final charges are set to be announced upon completion of the project, but are expected to range between 150 shillings to 450 shillings depending on the vehicle's tonnage. According to CS Macharia, the toll road will be charged in dollars since the investment was made in dollars.
But also the good thing is that our shilling is very stable. If you compare our currency with other currencies in the region, it's actually very, very, very stable. And even if it's in US dollars, what happens is it's compensated because in terms of inflation, the adjustments which will be made subsequently, they'll be very minimal. And therefore it will be very beneficial to Kenyans.
With Nairobi being among the few cities world over with a national park in its backyard, Tourism Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala says the Nairobi Expressway will be critical in luring tourists out of the airport to explore Kenya's capital. According to CS Balala, with no time wasted in commuting, layover travelers will be able to experience Nairobi, spending money and thus turning Nairobi into an ideal hub.
Without infrastructure, the airport cannot survive. For both transit and for domestic visitors. So infrastructure is key. This investment is key to the people to come in here, spend even 24 hours. So that is the innovation that will come in to give short stay, 24-hour visa. Those are the new things. We at KWS Park, we are working with Kenya Airways that instead of spending 8 hours at the airport or 6 hours, you spend 3 hours at Nairobi National Park. So we have that partnership with Kenya Airways existing currently. And you can see the infrastructure, the bypass, the connection to the park, the infrastructure that we are developing in Nairobi National Park, that is to get a better experience for the visitor so that they don't waste their time at the airport, but they come into the town and spend the money.
Further, Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa says such projects will enhance connectivity in counties and the country at large.
First of all, we are looking at Nairobi not just as a city, as the metropolis. And all the connecting counties, I think, with these connections that are going on. And CS Macharia has told us, apart from Lolongo, we also have that dual carriage all the way to Machakos Junction. Now, that is going to, it will be another game changer before we look at the connection to Mombasa, to Mau Summit. So for us, we are seeing the future of devolution as bright, but infrastructure, connection between the counties is really going to boost devolution and development of our country. So we're happy. I think we're on the right track. And Mwalimu Nyerere used to tell Tanzanians many years ago that if you want to know how London looks like, just go to Nairobi. Once this project is done, if Mwalimu Nyerere comes back, he will tell them now, go to Nairobi and not just see London. see Hong Kong, see New York, how it looks like. Mabarabara za ghorofa kama hizi. So Nairobi is going to be the new Singapore.
With an investment of 65 billion Kenya shillings, the government of Kenya, through public-private partnership, is hoping that by the end of this year, Kenyans will be able to use this stretch from the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to make their way to the CBD. This is expected to cut traffic from 2 hours to 25 minutes. This is also expected to be one of the key flagship projects of the Jubilee administrations in their final term. Question is, when time is ripe for Kenyans to use this road, will it be ready and will it translate into the hopes of the investors who put their money into this project? For Metropole TV, my name is Ndero Oganga.